This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I hope that you will consider this your vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? And please leave a rating and a brief written review. And you can find Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom anywhere you are able to download podcasts. Also, if you'd like to have a 30-minute call with me to see if we can work together or if there's any way that I can help you be more productive, set goals, any leadership issues, if you're feeling stuck, I'd be more than happy to talk with you and see what we can do together. Just go to drronblake.com/call. drronblake.com/call. You'll fill out the information and I will call you and we'll have a visit just to see if there's any way I can be of service to you. On today's podcast, I want to talk about the best leadership advice I have ever received. And I have 14 things that I want to mention. We'll go through them briefly. They're not in any particular order, and I just sort of believe that one or two or three of them will resonate with you today and will be something you want to think about. The best advice that I ever received, number one, is be authentic, or in other words, be yourself. If God wanted you to be someone else, He'd have made you someone else. He made you just the way you are, with your family, your background, your experiences, your talents, and your gifts. Quit selling yourself short. You are exactly the person who is needed for such a time as this. Quit trying to mimic. Quit trying to pretend you're someone else that you're not. We need you to be your best self. Be authentic. Be real. Doesn't mean to stop growing. Continue to make change. Continue to get better. But when you're in a position of leadership, number one, always be authentic. The second best piece of advice, or number two, that I received that is very important is always do the right thing. Now, when you're in any position of influence or leadership, there's going to be unbelievable pressure brought to bear on you at times to cut corners, to do things differently, to not pay attention, to close your eyes to what's going on. Always just make it up. You have to make up your mind right now that you're always going to do the right thing. You're even going to do the right thing when it makes you uncomfortable. You'll do the right thing even when it is hard. It's not always easy to do the right thing, but it's always correct to do the right thing. Leader, you will fade off into oblivion if you begin to compromise. If you begin to be a less than truthful and candid individual. The second piece of advice I give you on leadership is do the right thing. The third thing I want to say, the third piece of advice that I've received over the years that's been helpful to me, is be a person who shows gratitude. Please and thank you are still magic words. Everywhere we are and everything we've ever done is because a lot of people have helped us, and we need to show gratitude. Show gratitude to everyone and anyone that comes across your path. Develop an attitude of gratitude, just being thankful for the blessings you have, for the opportunities you have, and the ability you have to make a difference in your home, in your business, in your church, in your neighborhood. It'll just change your perspective as a leader and a person if you walk through life as a person who exudes gratitude. One of the next things I want to say on the best leadership advice I've ever received was pretty much like do the right thing, but this is more about our speech. Always be honest. Now, there are times when being honest will be hurtful to the person who's receiving it. This is not a call to be a bully, and this is not a call, leader, to be mean-spirited, but it is a call to be honest. If you're in a boardroom, you're in a meeting, you're in a committee, and you don't feel that it's going to work out the way that it seems, don't second guess after the fact and say, well, I could have told you that. I knew all along it wasn't going to work. Don't play that game. If you have reservations, if you have concerns, be upfront and honest from the very beginning, or as they say around here, the get-go. Don't hold back. Be honest. Don't be mean-spirited, but give your honest appraisal. No one likes a person who never says anything, never makes a comment, never offers a suggestion, and when the thing goes south, who says, well, I knew all along it wouldn't work. Well, if you knew all along it wouldn't have worked, why in the world did you speak up and be honest and say something? Leaders, please be honest. A fifth piece of advice that I received that I have found to be exceedingly helpful was get out of the office periodically. Now, if your office is in your home, the same thing applies. It is quite easy being in the same environment all the time to get stuck. And the best way that I know to get unstuck is to physically remove yourself from your present surrounding. That's why at certain times when I'm working on certain projects, I'll go to a coffee shop, a Panera in my town, a Big B's, and I'll get away. I've even gone to the public library. I also have an office in my home as well as an office where my work office is. I also do a fair deal of traveling, so I make my office in lots of hotels and motels as well. But if you're in the same place, get up. Now, that's not just in the area of getting stuck. A few times, you just need to get up and walk around and see what's going on. If you have a big company and a big office, you just need to be present. Don't sequester yourself off, steel yourself against the world, and shut the door and ignore everyone around you. Go around. Chit-chat is not going to ruin your day. Finding out about people and being interested in people. Too many leaders become prisoners in their office. Get out of your office. Now, I'm going to say the opposite as well. When it's time to work, put your head down and work. But don't become a prisoner of your office. Get out where the people are. The sixth thing that I want to say about great advice that I have received over the years is, leader, be a mentor. In other words, invest in others. I am presently this week my wife and I are spending a week with someone who I believe considers us a mentor, and she's been a great influence in our lives, and to see how her leadership is blossoming where she is 1,000 miles. It really, as you get older, warms your heart to realize that you have had the opportunity to invest in others. And there are several of them strewn across the country who are on staff with me, who I've been able to pour into their life. They have made a bigger difference in my life. But make sure you look around. We owe it to pour into the next generation of leaders and to really invest in others. That's one of the greatest things that any leader can do. The seventh item in these things that I have learned about leadership, the greatest advice that I've received, is to embrace failure. Now, that is somewhat counterintuitive because most of us are repelled by failure. Usually when we have failed, we kind of disappointed ourselves and maybe some others as well, and we just as soon not talk about it, not refer to it, not even look at it. And therefore, we have this tendency to clam up and to not talk and to ignore it. And the greatest lessons I have learned have been in the times that I have failed. And I mean times when I failed miserably were some of the greatest lessons. Why don't you, rather than running from it or ignoring it and hoping to bury it, I don't mean that you carry it around with you as a badge of honor, but study it, embrace it, and say, of all of the school teachers I have had and all of the professors I have had in my life, no one has taught me as many lessons as Professor Failure. Go ahead, embrace it. What I have discovered is if you know you've failed, everyone else knows it, just confess it. Tell people, that didn't work and we're going to do something else. But here's what we've learned not to do, and here's what we have learned what to do. Whenever I ask someone going through a time of failure, what lessons did you learn? I always listen. If they tell me what they learned about other people and how other people are miserable and how other people failed you and how I'll never trust people, they've really not learned. They are projecting their problem onto something else, as if these people weren't the people they were, I wouldn't have failed, I would have made it. That's not what I'm talking about learning from failure, about becoming bitter and distrustful and not willing to take a risk. I'm talking about learning from failure. Did I miscalculate? Did I have a blind spot? Did I learn that I can't run ahead of my information? Did I learn that if I go against the entire team, it may be they had some information that would have been very invaluable to me had I just listened to them? The next one that I want to talk about is in hiring. If you're a leader in a position to bring staff on and hire people, always hire passionate, smart people. There are some leaders that become the lid on their organization because they have this innate fear of being showed up, of somebody outshining them. So they hire someone who won't in any way question them, or really what they're doing is they're hiring people who won't help move the agenda forward. If you have to hire between passion, you have to choose, everything else being equal, between passion and talent. Always hire for passion. You can train people. People can learn skills. Passion is hard to instill in someone who doesn't have it. Don't be afraid of sharp, smart people. Our goal should not be to always be the brightest person shining. Our goal should be that we have empowered a host of leaders who have gone beyond where we are, who have done things we never dreamed of doing, and have been able in their world to make a significant difference. Those are the kinds of people that we should hire. Let's recap 8 things, and on the next podcast, I'm going to finish. It'll be part 2 of the best leadership advice I've ever received. First of all, be authentic. Be who you are. Always do the right thing, even when indeed it is painful. Develop an attitude of gratitude is number 3. Always be a person who says please and thank you and expresses gratitude for every area in your life. Number 4 is always be honest. Don't be cruel. Don't be mean. Don't be a bully, but always be honest. Don't be a person imprisoned in your office. Get out among the people and get to know the people. Mentor and invest in others. And if you're not doing that, find someone today that you can pour your life into. And go ahead and embrace failure. You'll learn your greatest lessons there, and always hire passionate, smart people. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this has been like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts, please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Leave a rating and a brief written review. And also, if you'd like to get on my calendar and have me call you, and we'll talk for 30 minutes to see if there's anything I can do to help you. If you're stuck, if you need to improve in some areas where I may be able to help you, let's see if we can work together. Just go to drronblake.com/call. drronblake.com/call. Fill out the information, get on my calendar, and I'll give you a call and see if we can work together. This is Dr. Ron saying to you, my friend leader, you're doing better than you think you are. And until next time, have a great and blessed day.